A while later, Jie begins to groggily open her eyes. But before she can react, someone covers her mouth from behind. Thankfully, it's just Jin. He tells her to stay quiet, and once she nods in agreement, he moves his hand away. The woman then asks where she is here since she was just in the bathroom. Jin points out that she'll feel dizzy for a while because of the sedative. That's when her mind flashes back, and she remembers she'd been kidnapped. Jin confirms it, saying that he and the team leader arrived first and that security is on its way with the police. Jin looks around to make sure no one is nearby, and he is kinda relieved that she's awake, which will make it easier to move her. But he knows they won't have long before someone finds them in this dead-end corner, and the worst part is that the enemy is armed. Meanwhile, Jie wonders if her kidnapping has something to do with the new acquisitions in the SW Corporation expansion, though she had nothing to do with those deals. She looks at Jin and yells that he's hurt, but Jin brushes it off, saying he's totally fine, but Jie isn't buying this crap because she can see that his shoulder is banged up, his fingers are injured, and, to top it off, he's not even her bodyguard. She's confused about why he'd go out of his way to help her, and is surprised at how dependable he's turned out to be. Just then, they hear that familiar voice of that woman, which is the same one who is behind this kidnapping. She's walking toward them, gun in hand, and tells Jin to come out right now. She threatens that if this drags on too long, they won't hesitate to kill the hostage. She further insists they better wrap this up peacefully and save the hostage before things get worse. Jie feels terrified to hear this threat, and quickly stands up from the wheelchair, thinking she can't let this boy get dragged into this any further. Despite his skills, he's just a teenager, and she feels she needs to step up and protect him. Before she can do anything reckless, Jin signals her to stop and cryptically gestures something with his fingers, which just goes way over my head. But it seems like Jie can understand what he is trying to say, so she stands there in silence, and Jin eventually steps out from his hiding spot and raises his hand quietly. The kidnapper woman is sure Jie must be behind that container. She reflects on how she couldn't believe it when she saw our boy hanging from the van even though he is just a kid. She then mocks him, saying he's probably seen too many action movies because, in reality, even a hero can get killed. I guess she's right, because no matter how brave you are, you're no match for a gun barrel pointed straight at you. But Jin remains calm even with the gun trained on him. Jie eventually comes out, yelling for her to wait. As soon as the kidnapper woman looks in Jie's direction, Jin takes his chance. He throws the blade over at her hand, injuring it badly. Before she can catch her breath, another dagger zips past her, and right at that time, Jin jumps over her, and they both fall off to the ground, and her gun also slips from her hands. She quickly grabs one of the daggers tucked near her thigh and tries to swing it at Jin, but he backs away just in time, and they both put some distance between each other. The woman then launches herself at Jin, and their deadly dance of hack and slash begins. After a fierce exchange, she takes a brutal hit to her gut and goes tumbling backward, her gun falling to the ground. She quickly spots her gun, grabs it, and aims it at Jin with a smirk, thinking she finally has the upper hand. But Jin moves fast and grabs the gun, twists it out of her grip, and now the gun is pointed right back at her. The woman is sweating and utterly confused about how this just happened. Meanwhile, Jie is blown away by Jin's moves, while our boy just stands there, cool as a cucumber. The woman smirks again, saying he must have watched a lot of movies. She then pokes fun at him, pointing out that while he might be able to fight, she questions whether he really has the guts to fire a gun. She admits that bodyguards might practice target shooting, but shooting a living person is a whole different ballgame. But well, she's dead wrong about that, and Jin doesn't hesitate for a second before putting a bullet right into her thigh, causing blood to spatter out. The woman is absolutely stunned, unable to believe he didn't think twice before pulling the trigger. What baffles her even more is that his eyes remain dead still after firing the gun, as if he's grown used to it. She has yet to figure out how could a boy from such a peaceful country know how to fight like this. But when she looks at him closely, she recognizes those eyes and feels a chill run down her spine as she realizes that he's code 001. Before she can say anything further, Jin slaps her across the face with the gun, knocking her out cold and letting her fall to the ground. Jie is completely blown away by how effortlessly Jin takes her down, as if it's no big deal.